a can. That's what my mom calls it. You just doctor it up. That's what we're gonna do. And all you have to add really to do that are a couple pantry staples and a few ingredients. Bacon, I've got about 8 slices chopped up, and we're just gonna get that browned. And while that happens, we'll just chop up a little bit of onion and pepper. The power of a little onion is just amazing. I would say I put onion in 90% of things I make. My mom used to use green bell pepper in her baked beans, but I love the flavor of a jalapeno in there. I will take the seeds out because I don't want it to be too spicy, so I just do 2 to 3 seeded and chopped. This is also something you could do the day before and then just pop them in the oven the day of. All right, you want the bacon to be pretty crispy. Leave the fat in the skillet, and we're gonna cook our peppers and onion. All we're gonna do is just cook this to soften it up a little bit. I'm doctoring up the canned baked beans like I told you. I'm using 3 of the big cans. Here's how I doctor them up. You know, like when you open it and there's this like layer of sauce on the top, I pour that off because I'm gonna create my own sauce. So I just kind of pour off that top layer. You just don't need it, you know. I'm adding in a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of ketchup, a little mustard, and the way I'm doctoring these beans up is kind of how I do sloppy joes. It's like similar flavors. A little Worcestershire. There's a lot of sweetness in here, and when that bakes, it caramelizes, so it kind of creates a little kind of crust around the edges. It tightens up. It's so good. It's got it all. Sweet, salty, kick of spice from the jalapeno. Mix it all together and pour it in your pan. Okay, and now a layer of bacon on the top. So that looks way better than Grandma used to do with those strips of bacon laid across the top. This way everybody gets a little bacon. Don't those look good? I mean, they look just completely homemade. Shortcuts are good. Okay, so now I'm going to pop these in the oven. But if you wanted to make this ahead of time, you could stop here and then cook them off tomorrow. But we're gonna go straight in. And it's just 375 till it's all bubbly and good. The beans are smelling incredible. Look at that. Browned and bubbly. These look so good, but they smell even better. I'm just gonna keep these warm while we get everything else ready for the barbecue. Knocking them out. For my next trick, the best brownie you'll ever eat. Brownies at a barbecue are just the perfect like potluck dessert. And this one I have pulled out from the past. For every memory of us like cooking out at the lake, my mom's friend would bring these brownies. I don't know what they were called. I don't remember us calling them anything other than like Charlotte's brownies. The first like key ingredient is that you have to use like German chocolate cake mix. So we're using a store-bought cake mix to make brownies, not brownie mix. See? And then in the middle is this gooey caramel center. I can't say enough about these. So you start with those caramel candies, put them in a bowl, and then top them with a little evaporated milk. And then we're just gonna melt this in the microwave. Okay, it's gonna start looking like this, and then you just keep microwaving it in like 1-minute intervals. All right, for the batter, the cake mix, to that, some chopped pecans, a little bit more evaporated milk, and then a stick and a half of melted butter. So you didn't put egg in here because we don't want it to rise like a cake. You can totally bake this up in a aluminum pan also and just bring it straight to the table. I'm gonna bake it in a real pan and then cut it into squares and put it on the table. All right, so you're gonna take half of your batter and put it down on the bottom. And you're gonna bake that for 8 minutes. It's gonna be a really thin layer. Don't worry, just trust the process. The rest of the batter goes in the fridge while we bake this. I don't know where to put this. Okay, so this bakes for 8 minutes. 8 minutes later, and now when it comes out, we're gonna add chocolate chips to the top and let them start melting. And then we're gonna pour our caramel right over this. There's still a few little pieces that haven't fully melted, but it's okay. I don't really wanna stir it because you want that like layer of caramel. And now our chilled cake mix, you're gonna roll it into little balls and then press them flat and then lay it right on top. It's gonna all kind of create this like marbled like turtle situation. Resist the urge to eat one every time you roll it up though. Gets a little bit messy, but so worth it. All right, and then these go back into the oven for 20 more minutes. Look at these, look at these. You can't understand the magic that just happened in this pan. You're gonna have to wait and see what they really look like when we get outside because these have to cool completely and then you cut them, but the inside stays so delicious and gooey. Another one you could make at least a day in advance and these stay delicious for a long time. They don't dry out like the others. So I'm just gonna let them cool completely, cut them into squares, and serve them up. Look at all that. Barbecue has to have coleslaw with it. So I'm gonna show you how to make coleslaw. But why am I standing at the stove? Because this coleslaw has a hot like vinaigrette that you pour over it, and then it all comes together in the fridge. It stays crunchy, but it has the best flavor. It's like a sweet and sour kind of